A fantastical adventure where an unlikely hero must save the day using magical abilities.
With themes of family and choosing light over dark, this new film has taken the box office by storm. This week we cover Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
How Star Wars is it?
Well, hello there, Mike.
Hi, Josiah, and hello to all of you listeners.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to the show. This is How Star Wars Is It? It is the only podcast.
Really?
Yeah, I checked.
Huh.
It's the only one. And what do we do here? Well, we compare things to Star Wars. We rate things on a scale of 1 to 10. Not of how good or bad they are, but of how Star Wars they are. Okay?
Yeah, look, we aren't movie critics. We
No.
talk about them, but we're not going to give you a 2 thumbs up or a
No.
5 stars up.
No, we won't. We will give you a rating from 1 to 10.
But only
of how
if it shares aspects with the Star Wars universe.
That's right. We take everything Star Wars, not just the movies, but the TV shows, the books, the comic books, everything, the toys,
The games, the tunes, the characters, the downloads.
the emails. And we put it all in one big pot. And we take that pot, we set it to simmer. We then let it simmer for a long while.
That's right.
Okay, we're talking like hours. All right, not one. We're talking multiple hours.
Right, low and slow, baby, because you got to
Low and
get those
slow.
flavors develop in the Star Wars chili.
And that's what we're cooking up is this Star Wars chili.
And when he says
that's-
we're cooking up, it has already been cooked up, but we're just comparing other things to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the 10 out of 10, all right? The Star Wars chili is 10 out of 10.
Right,
And
right.
that's a perfect score, which only one thing has gotten that, and it's Return of the Jedi. Okay?
Yeah.
So don't get your hopes up thinking that this is that everything's going to have a really high numbers. If you want that, go back and listen to the early episodes when we
Or
were just
listen
given
to a show called, like, How Good Is It?
Yeah, all right? And then they'll just give it a bunch of high numbers. We do a lot of low numbers around here.
Yeah.
All right? We've had a lot of guests recently, and our guests come in with these higher numbers, and that's just like, don't you know that we do low numbers around here?
Yeah.
Come on.
But this week we're talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, the new film by Daniels, which, first of all, I love that they are a pair of men named Daniel, and they go by the moniker Daniels.
I didn't know that.
Did you see
That's
Swiss
hilarious.
Army Man?
Yes.
Yeah, they did that, too.
No wonder. Okay, that's cool. That was a great movie and so weird, and this
Yes.
is a great movie, also so weird.
Yeah, right. They're really good
Yeah.
at doing the single craziest thing you've ever seen on film in 1 second, and then the next second, you're still with that crazy thing, but it makes you feel an emotion.
Yeah.
The amount of
And
times in this movie where someone with hot dog hands made me, like, think about my own like existence.
Yeah.
It's really something that they're able to pull off.
Or like a rock with googly eyes,
Yes.
and you're like crying, and you're like, it
Yeah.
has googly
An
eyes
entire
now.
couple minutes that it's just like it's practically still photography.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. So, yeah, I know we said we don't say how good or bad it is, but we will say a lot here.
We'll both be on record as saying it is very good.
It's very good. I loved it. Like, I watched it with Charlie. Charlie cried, which she cries in every movie, so it's not like that big of a thing to say she cried.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie, if you're listening.
Hi.
But I almost cried, which means a lot for me because it's hard for me to cry.
Yes, you and I. This is the exact same situation that I would have described.
Yeah, yes, with Charlie.
Yeah, when Charlie and I saw it together.
Yeah, she loves crying in movies, man. No, like it's hard for me. I used to cry a lot in movies, and I think maybe it's my new medication over the course of the last couple of years, or like higher dosage or whatever. But like it's hard for me to cry in movies, and I was like very close, and I was like, this is doing it.
That's
this is
that medication that just makes you a rugged, tough, toxic man.
Yeah, it's called America. That's the medication I'm on.
We just came hot off of a Patreon recording where we both just completely yelled about capitalism.
Yeah, we just unloaded about how
So if that sounds interesting to you, you should check out our Patreon at patreon.com/howstarwarsis it. Speaking of capitalism, it only costs $5 a month.
Yeah, there's pretty much a 50-50 shot on the Patreon of whether we're going to rant about capitalism or whether we're going to just talk about a bunch of random bullshit that we've been thinking about recently.
I would say it's higher in favor of the capitalism and politics.
Yeah. So really, if that sounds like your jam, if you'd like to hear us talk about some more serious topics.
Say the same shit every week.
Yeah, where we're just it just sucks.
Yeah.
And then we're yeah, it does. You should check out the Patreon. And then also check out the Patreon because we have an RPG episode coming out soon, which I need to edit. Whoops. Okay.
But
anyway,
in the meantime, here we are talking about this beautiful, beautiful, weird, awesome, funny, sad, exciting movie.
Really good. Okay. So right out the gate, if we're talking about how Star Wars this is both, it is science fiction, I would say, for sure. But it's also a pastiche.
Yes.
It is absolutely.
Have you seen any of the stuff online of the different universes? A lot of them are referencing other films or realities.
There's one,
obviously, she's a martial arts movie star in one reality, which of course is very real of her,
which is
life.
our reality, basically. Yeah, I do know the one that was Ratatouille.
Well, of course. Oh my God, Ratatouille is really this movie. I mean, it says a million things, but one of the things that I just really love that they are able to do, they did it with a dead body that farts and turns into a jet ski as well. The world has everything.
Yes,
there's so much shit, and you can kind of accept that in one of two ways. The world has basically every type of thing, and that's beautiful, and I love it. Or the world has basically every type of thing, so nothing matters, and I'm a nihilist, and I want to get sucked into a bagel.
Into a bagel.
So they do that kind of. I wish I had the actual philosophical terminology. I'm sure nihilist is in there somewhere, but what is the opposite? One who's two people who say nothing matters, one who does so in sort of a fucked up way and one who does so in a loving way.
Yes, there's optimistic nihilism and then pessimistic nihilism, which honestly I consider myself a nihilist in certain ways. I'm a humanist, I'm a nihilist. I have to imagine Sisyphus happy. But
not in the way of the Joker.
No, not like the Joker. I'm not ha ha ha. You know what I mean? I don't think things are funny all the time. Man, I just watched the original Batman, the Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
And it's so strange.
Yeah.
And not that good.
No, I know.
It's a classic, I guess, but I watched it for the first time in forever. And also it was kind of boring to the point of where I watched it over the course of several sittings where I was this is not holding my attention at all.
Yeah. Also that journalist guy who says to Vicky Vale, something about if she wanted to photograph him nude, you're gonna need a long lens.
Yeah.
Which
means that shit is
the longer the lens, the more it magnifies.
Yeah, the more you're zooming in.
Yeah.
So
maybe you want to see my little weenie?
Maybe a wide lens would be a better thing to say.
Right.
But yeah, a long lens.
Or just don't say anything like that to someone at an office.
The better thing to say would not be that.
Yeah.
Just choose another tactic. He has the most annoying role in any movie where he's just guy who lightly sexually harasses the female lead.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be with her, but she's with the male lead.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that those. I think that's going out of style. I feel you don't see it as much anymore, but God, was that just a part in movies where they were all right, you're going to play the guy who sexually harasses the female lead.
Right.
and because she's
like,
with the
we
male
all
lead.
know, watching it, he's meant to be received as a shithead. But it's let's just not have the shithead then.
Yeah, he's just annoying.
We
he's
have
not
a super villain.
Yeah. We don't need a shithead because we have a super. Yeah, we have the Joker.
Yeah.
We have Jack Nicholson making funny faces.
Yeah. I saw a tweet the other day that was like, man, everybody gets to that point in their life when they realize they're only going to see another 9 or 10 Batman movies before they die.
Oh, God. One can only hope that we only see that
But
many.
anyway, this movie is not that.
No, it's not. And
I don't
could
even
talk
know
about
if we need to go far into the details. We can, but I feel like that's something we've been fixated on lately as opposed to doing our show, comparing the thing to Star Wars. So maybe we try to do that, and then in so doing, we can like call out some of our favorite parts of the movie.
Well, the other good thing about this movie too, or like in regards to the show, is it's kind of hard to explain the plot.
Yeah, in fact, I would say it's doing a disservice to sort of explain it, or even sort of walk through it beat by beat and explain how it goes. I would say if you're listening to this and you haven't felt like, I don't think we've really spoiled a thing, but if you're listening to this and you haven't seen this movie, you should run, not walk, to go see it while it's in theaters, because boy, oh boy, was it a blast to laugh at parts with like an entire room of people.
Yeah. Go see this movie in theaters. Absolutely. We haven't spoiled it yet. If you haven't seen it yet, yes, pause right now. Mm-hmm. Go see it. Come back, then finish listening to this episode.
Yeah, right.
Because, there's parts that are, like, there's excellent fights. This is a martial arts movie, too. There's excellent fights. There's really funny jokes. There's, like, really heartwarming family moments. And it also does something that, like, an earlier movie in the year that I saw that I enjoyed called Turning Red, which was on Disney Plus, which was also very good. It does something similar to Turning Red, where it's talking about family dynamics, specifically like Asian family dynamics, and even more specifically Chinese
and
family dynamics. And like
mother-daughter specifically.
Yes, like both movies did a really good job at like exploring those, and like what it looks like for a mother to give like an apology and to give like forgiveness, and for a child
I saw a
to
tweet
give forgiveness.
Recently that was like, in the past like 6 years, something like a dozen millennial filmmakers all made movies about their parents apologizing to them.
Yeah, I literally just saw, when I was looking up the movie to Google it, I just saw like a Variety article that was like, the new genre of movie, millennial parent apology fantasies. And I was like, it's true. But yeah, the movie rules. It's a lot of different things. It's a martial arts movie. It's a comedy. It's
everything.
Family movie. It's everything everywhere all at once. So it is like, it exists in 3 sort of parts. I should more like 2 parts and then like one very small like epilogue kind of thing. The first thing is everything. The second thing's everywhere, and the last section is all at once.
Right.
And the main premise is essentially that there's this like very normal woman, like very normal Chinese immigrant woman,
who, given the infinite amount of possibilities and multiverses based on any one decision you make, you know, the different outcomes trigger their own new reality. You know, like, I walk to work and I trip and I fall down. That version of me that fell has his own reality, but the version of me that didn't trip has his own reality. And the ones that are those changes are like super insignificant, like tripping and falling. Those realities live close to one another on the greater sort of quilt of the multiverse, but there are versions where every choice you make is focused on, say, becoming the best popcorn maker. And there's a version where you're the best popcorn maker, but that version of you is much further away from sort of center. And this woman is not good at anything and hasn't really pursued any major life goal or accomplishment. So she's dead center in the middle of the multiverse of possibilities, basically. Yeah.
Her name's Evelyn. She's played by Michelle Yeoh, and she's like such a hottie.
She's just like so good.
Yeah, and so she's like a laundromat owner with her husband Ki Hui Kwan, who is
also just stole the show for me.
Stole the show. From,
Evelyn as a character in that sort of Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter role, her job is very thankless because she has to be she has to experience the things that we're experiencing watching this crazy new world,
Yeah.
She's so good, but I think you come out of the movie like saying like, wow, her husband was so great and funny and charming and hot in certain parts. And like I think it took me a day or two to remember like, oh, right, she was also acting.
Yeah.
That wasn't just like my friend.
Yeah, that was like, it wasn't just me. She wasn't just an audience surrogate.
Yes.
Yeah, so he plays Waymond, her husband, who's sort of like this nebbish kind of like total beta, like he's sort of impotent and but like very sweet and loving,
yes,
and kind. And then the other main character is their daughter, who Joy, who's played by Stephanie Sue, who apparently we might have seen in SpongeBob SquarePants.
We might have
in Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
the musical, the stage musical.
Yeah. So that's sort of the main trio, but like they're just a family that works at a laundromat, that owns a laundromat, and Evelyn and Waymond came from China. They're immigrants. Stephanie or Joy was born in America. So she's like faces the issues of like first generation American, like my parents are a little more old fashioned. My grandfather's very old fashioned. She's gay. There's like that factors into it. And then she also has sort of a classic relationship like we saw in Turning Red and you see in a lot of Asian media with her mother, where it's sort of a strained relationship. And early on, her, Joy's girlfriend says something like, well, I thought you said that whenever your mom like criticizes you or says something like mean like that, it means she cares about you, right? Which is like true, because it but also hurtful.
Yes, right. And Evelyn's whole thing here is she is talking to their IRS sort of attaché because they're being audited. Their business is being audited. Their IRS representative is Jamie Lee Curtis in a true like this performance. It's just like fucking beyond.
So good, so fun.
Her name is Deirdre, and have you heard this thing or seen the little Easter egg?
No.
So there's like her trophies that she has on her desk that are shaped like butt plugs.
Yes.
Her name is printed on it, and I think it's also maybe on her like ID that she has like around her neck or on her desk somewhere. And her last name is Bobeirdre. Her name is Deirdre Bobeirdre.
Deirdre Bobeirdre.
Like
That's
this movie
hilarious.
is just full of that kind of shit. So anyway, we've set the scene of like who these characters are, but that could be the like a small indie drama, and this is a movie where all preconceptions of what a movie is go out the window, because Evelyn, can tap into any other version of herself in different universes.
Yes.
And essentially take their power.
She gains this ability from Waymond Alpha.
Yeah.
Alpha Waymond, who is her husband from another reality.
Right.
Which, man, it's just so crazy. So like he pops into her reality and he's like, here, put these on, and they give her the ability to shift through realities and take on the abilities of anybody, any of her selves from any
what they
infinite
don't
reality.
do a whole lot of? They give you enough rope to hang yourself with, as they say, but they don't bother you with this stuff.
No,
the like lore of how like the Matrix spends a third of its runtime like getting you up to speed of like how you can be kind of a consciousness in one place and then a consciousness in another reality, like of course because very few things like that had been done before. But this movie's like, you guys have probably seen The Matrix, right? You can go to different places.
You know what it is?
You probably saw Spider-Verse, right?
That's what I was going to say. It's how Spider-Verse is it, right?
Yeah.
Because in Spider-Verse, they're like, we're not going to worry about explaining to you what the multiverse is. Right. We're just going to like let you know that there's multiple universes with a bunch of different Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
And that's all you need to know. And like, you're going to be okay with that. And it's so crazy that the fact that this movie exists at all is crazy. Like, it's a very A24 film.
Right.
And that it's like so artsy and so, but like, Also, it's not an A24 film because it's not a horror movie that makes me feel icky afterwards.
Sure. They do other things.
I don't know if they do. There's that sheep one. It looks stupid. But it's so crazy that this movie exists because it is a multiverse hopping like
small family drama.
Small family
That's
martial arts.
the funniest movie you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a multiverse hopping small family drama martial arts comedy.
Yeah. Where two rocks with googly eyes don't talk, their dialogue is just written on the screen, and at one point it
makes you cry.
Her daughter, who is like a multi-universe like cosmic supervillain, brings down a bunch of guards with two giant dildos.
Yeah. There's so much going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And the fact that it exists at all is crazy. The fact that it's a multiverse hopping movie that is not connected to an IP is crazy to me.
And have you heard that story that they were offered to direct Loki and they're like,
oh,
no, we want to make like art.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. I mean, like, they probably could have made some really cool Loki shit if they had applied that, but good for them for being like, no, we're going to make our own thing.
Yeah.
Because this is way better than anything Loki could ever be.
Yeah.
Or try to be. Not to shit on Loki. I liked Loki.
Yeah,
it was fine.
So speaking of fine, and that was like in a vacuum, that was good. We went and saw this movie a couple weeks ago, and then the next night we were at home just like looking for something to watch, and Free Guy crossed our path, and we were both kind of like, I was interested in seeing it at some point because I had heard it was actually like kind of okay for what you might expect it to be just based on like the poster or whatever. And Caitlin was like, I actually do kind of want to see that. So we watched it, and I will say first that I think I liked Free Guy. But I will also say about like halfway through, I think I got up to like get a drink or something, and Caitlin asked like, "Are you liking this?" And that's when I realized like, oh, I have sat stone-faced without making a sound or facial gesture for 60 minutes. Because the thing with that movie is I've seen it before.
Yeah, you saw The Matrix.
I've seen it a million times. I've seen The Matrix. I saw the Fairly Odd Parents episode where Timmy goes inside a video game. I saw both the Jumanji sequels. You know, like I think it was pretty fun. I think there were parts of it that were just like completely stupid, and like from a video game logic, some of it is like pretty unforgivable, but like as far as like a popcorn movie, it was great. But I think the big thing for me with that movie was just the night before, like my understanding of what a movie could be completely changed. Yeah.
I saw Free Guy at the Logan Theater with Charlie and enjoyed it and was like, that was good. Yeah. It was fun. But I've said this before about that movie, and I'll say it again, is like its ideas are much better than its movie.
Totally.
Which was funny. I said that in the Twitter thread with Michael Delaney, and he was like, that's kind of every movie though. And I was like, you're not entirely wrong.
Sure.
Like, there's very few movies that live up to the ideas that they are trying to get across.
Those are just like miracle movies.
Yeah, those one, like when that happens.
Like The Matrix.
Like The Matrix, or like Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think it lives up to what it's trying to talk about.
Yeah,
and like the Free Guy is like trying to talk about choice and like simulation and simulacra. And like capitalism.
And like what is consciousness?
Yes, and like so much in this like popcorn movie with Deadpool in it.
Right.
And so it's like hard for it to achieve like the.
And here's what it does do. It does just a little more than like checking off all those boxes you just listed. Like it does check them off, and it even kind of explores some of them, but it's, you know, you don't leave going like, whoa, my worldview.
No, yeah. I left that movie being like, wow, it got so close to talking about some real shit. But
and this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, in fact, it's funny. Very recently, and maybe we've even talked about this on the show, but I've kind of come to understand or be more exposed to the greater works of Stephen Sondheim. And like I knew Into the Woods, give or take, I'd seen it once or twice, and I knew Sweeney Todd because I saw the movie, and you know, but like it took seeing Sunday in the Park with George, the PBS great showcase or whatever it's called, and then later Company, to be like,
I
Oh
love
wow,
Company.
this guy uses the vehicle of musical theater to make true art.
Yeah.
Like
It took me.
we
I
were
think it
talking
took
about
me.
Company this weekend. I was saying, like, for a show where every character, especially the main character, is essentially a broad sketch of a person. Usually, in fact, you mentioned Turning Red. I think that's a perfect example of where the specificity of that movie makes it relatable. I am not a Asian Canadian teen girl who is
Yes.
getting her first period while also turning into a red panda, but I related to her so much in that movie because of she's a vulnerable human. Whereas Company does the exact opposite, which I would normally say is sort of a failure of character development, of just like, oh, he's just a guy who is like constantly a bachelor or whatever. But what Sondheim is able to do is almost similar to what like Jerry Seinfeld can do in his peak of like observation humor, like
totally.
I guess I never really did think of laundry that way, but I also kind of always have. And like Sondheim does that in Company to the point that it's like, wow, this is some of the most profound shit I've ever seen, and it's about a guy who like isn't quite ready to get married. But like every song in that show has such a point of view from a almost just like the songs function as like essays.
Yes, it is like a group of essays.
And Sunny in the Park is similar. Like it's about art.
it's like Company is loosely connected essays about the ideas of marriage and love that are sung by characters that are loose, that are just sort of loose, not incredibly defined, because
they're like a Greek chorus.
Because the songs are the most important thing in the show.
Yes, exactly.
And like there are musicals where the characters are the most important part of the show. There are musicals where like the choreography is the most important part of the show.
Or the spectacle, like the SpongeBob musical.
Yes, exactly. And then there's musicals where it's the fucking music.
Yeah.
And like I think that like it took me seeing Company to realize how much of a genius like Stephen Sondheim was. And like I was like, oh, okay. So
this is a diversion, and we will probably cover this in June.
Yes, for Junesicle Theater Month.
The reason I go and gush about all that is not, I had seen movies that made me like really go like, oh wow, a movie can be that. But man, this one, it really left me going like, well, shit. Who's going to top this?
Yeah, I saw this a week ago. Haven't stopped thinking about it since. Like, every day I think about it, and I'm like, I want to see that again. Like, and
they shot this thing, by the way, in like 8 weeks. Like, it had wild. Like no budget. Like, it was, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like that's wild because it's so complicated.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine what the script looks like for this, or even the shooting schedule, because it's
shooting. I think about that all the time. You know that one montage where it just keeps cutting to clips of her. She's centered in frame, but you see like every multiverse version of her.
I was like, are those all actual still images? Because if so, that would have taken so long.
Yes, because you're running it like essentially one frame per frame.
Like, yeah, and I was
all
like,
those different outfits.
Yes, there were hundreds of them, and I was like, are these actually all different makeup and costumes, or did they get one good one and then they digitally altered it over and over again? Because I feel like
that would take longer.
I honestly don't know which one would, to be like, all right, now we got to get you in the skeleton makeup. Now we got to get you in the...
Well, the makeup would be one thing, I suppose. But like if you just had like a rack of costumes and a green screen, you could like bang a bunch of those out in a day.
Yeah, it's true.
But you're right.
Maybe that's
what
they did.
Either way...
They were like, every day, every scene you're in, come stand in front of this green screen and be like, ah! And make a little face. And then, like, we're going to do 6 alts of that every time.
That's exactly the type of thing I was thinking as I was leaving, just going, like, how do you, like, especially since, again, like, I work in a creative kind of production-minded industry where, like, you have to plan a lot of things, but then you also have to build the thing and then install the thing. And so like I do have at least a sense of an appreciation of like, wow, okay, these guys have had to write so many emails.
I know,
like,
right?
At some point they must have just been like, okay, the only actors called for this week are Jamie Lee Curtis and Michelle Yeoh, because it's all of these sort of like indie lesbian drama of two women with hot dog fingers. And like, how do you like? Did this movie come together in the edit room, as they say, or like is every beat of this written exactly in the sequence that we see it? You know,
I know. I really want to get that book.
Yes,
that was like the companion book, because I'd love to see what all is just in there.
Yeah,
and I'd love to see the script of this, because it must be impossible to read.
Yeah,
because like everything jumps from one reality to another so quickly and so often.
Right.
That like, especially at certain parts of the movie, like in the beginning, it sort of stays consistently in one reality,
right,
with like slight diversions and everything. But like, there's parts of it where you're constantly jumping so often that I'm like, if I was reading this, I would probably be like, this is nonsense.
Yeah,
like I have no idea what's going on.
That's the thing, the sort of production thing that like I kept thinking about was just like, this is a movie that could only have been a movie.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
it is so in its medium that like you can't imagine it in any other way. Like I can't imagine reading it, because the visuals are so important, and the fights are so important, and I can't imagine like playing a video game of it, because it would be like they'd have to figure out some stupid way to get powers, and it would just be really dull.
And if it were a
super
book,
dynamic.
it would be like, I'm losing track. I can't fucking pay attention to this.
But and honestly, this is also
would not have worked in any other vehicle. And you know, I wonder if either of the directors have any improv background. Not that like you have to have an improv background to be a good writer or anything like that, but they had so many pieces that, you know, the sort of improv adage of like, there are no mistakes. Like one person standing alone on stage kicking is a crazy person, but 9 of them is the Rockettes. Like, if you keep saying yes to things, then all of a sudden you find what their actual meaning is. And the line about like when Evelyn is trying to convince Jobu Tupaki that like yes, nothing matters, but like there's love everywhere and you learn from every experience. She says something like, even in a universe as stupid as everyone has hot dogs for hands, we all get really good with our feet.
Yeah.
And not only is that like a good line and kind of like a nice idea, but then you see her play piano with her feet, and then she uses her feet skill in that universe to like kick her or whatever, or like grab something with her toes or whatever it is. Like,
yes, everything comes to like
everything matters.
The hot dog fingers is such a joke reality until that point, and then you're like, of course they'd get good with their feet, and then that becomes a plot specific like important element, and that she needs her feet at that time
to prove a point from a story point of view, not just like a lore.
It's like they introduced this goofy hot dog fingers universe, and then it ended up being so important,
right? And the Rakakuni thing, when she realizes that like that version of her kind of fucked up that guy's life, and then decides like, here, get on my back, I'm gonna chase down the raccoon they stole from you, like, because she's trying to make amends and like love everyone in every universe. It was like, how am I emotional right now of a man riding on this woman's back piggyback style as she runs as fast as a car so that she can let him catch up to his chef Ratatouille style raccoon that got captured.
that is played by like a little animatronic puppet.
And I'm sitting there going like, I really hope he gets Rakakuni.
Charlie and I think Charlie and I had the most like out loud reactions to Rakakuni, being like, no, like, we were so worried about Rakakuni,
so profoundly excellent.
Which, like, if you're not going to go see this movie and you're just going to listen to us talk about it, you're crazy. You should go see this movie.
Oh, also, here's a fun thing that Caitlin and I both really got a good laugh at in the theater. And I would say the theater was very full, but I would say maybe a third laughed at this. And I was like, interesting. This is a joke for a very specific generation. When her husband, as the alpha version of himself, is like explaining to her like how different universes are having like a weird day feels, he says, your clothes never wear as well the next day. Your hair never falls in quite the same way. And we both went like, ha!
Charlie laughed and I didn't, because I didn't get the reference. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, it's a song.
Yeah,
and I was like,
it's a song from like 2004 or whatever, 2002.
And now Charlie's been listening to that song nonstop.
Yeah,
because
and
she was like,
it's featured throughout the movie in their weird kind of like, they sort of stretch and distort it a little bit, but it happens in the movie a few times. Anyway, we said we weren't going to just gush about the movie and that we were going to compare it to Star Wars, but here we are about
and
a half
then we
hour
did
in.
not.
One thing I did want to say, and again, like, The Matrix did this, and then now that movie is, 23 years old, and so like the goalposts keep moving. But another movie that really sort of redefined what a movie could be was
Star Wars. That's true. Yeah, and I would say sci-fi pastiche.
And Star Wars kind of did the impossible at the time.
It's true.
Like, it took the sort of sci-fi Dune, Star Trek aesthetics. Flash Gordon did the monomyth hero's journey with it. It's a Western. It's a fairy tale. It's a fighter pilot movie. Like, it really does do a shitload of things without overdoing any one of them. I'm talking specifically, I suppose, about A New Hope, but
Yeah.
So it's not the full chili, but
I will say, like, maybe this movie's very New Hope.
Yeah.
It might not be super Star Wars, though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I think you're right in that this movie is revolutionary in a lot of ways, because it's also the best multiverse movie that's ever been made.
Exactly.
Which is weird.
I kind of hope they stop doing them now.
I know. It feels like Bo Burnham's Inside, where it's like, well, if anyone else makes a pandemic thing, it's like, well, don't worry about it. Someone
speaking of Free Guy, there's a movie that Judd Apatow did that has Free Guy energy based on its trailer called like The Bubble. And it's a movie about people making a movie in a bubble during COVID, And like, that's actually what happened as they made it. Like, they had to do their own little production bubble. And I saw the trailer and I was like, there's a lot of funny people in there, but I don't think I'm even gonna consider watching that movie.
No, it sounds depressing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to. Yeah.
Just like, oh, you guys had COVID too?
Yeah. It sucks like auditioning for things right now, because everything is like, let's explore what 2 years of being in a pandemic is about. And it's like, no, let's do
we do that every time we see someone we haven't seen in the last 2 years.
Yes, which is all the time now, because we're seeing people for the first time. And it's like, let's explore literally anything else.
Which is all the time dangerous.
Dangerous. Oh my God. Throwback. But it's just like, especially like people's small little short films and scripts, everything is like, oh, it takes place in COVID, or it takes place after the pandemic, or it takes place, but it's like about the pandemic. And I'm like, can we do something for fun, please?
Right. It's funny too, because it's also like, remember that thing that happened? And it's like, no, it's still happening.
It's still going on, right? Like, I literally, like, Twitter sent me a fucking notification today that was like, masks do work. And it was like the CDC tweeting again, being like, Omicron cases are back up, so keep wearing your masks because they do work. And I was like, great, guys, mask mandates are gone in every city. Yeah. What are you talking about? Like, it's our government and has decided that COVID is no longer a matter of policy and is just gonna let it ride out until we're all fucking sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, not to get Patreon up in here.
We went shopping over the weekend, and at Nordstrom Rack, basically, we were the only ones wearing masks. And as I was walking around, I was just so ready. No one was an asshole, but like, I was just like so prepared to answer the question, like, why are you wearing a mask? With, oh, I have COVID. And then I was even prepared for the next follow-up, which in my brain was, oh, well, you shouldn't be out. And then I would say, well, you can't tell me what to do and trample my freedoms.
Good. Make their little brains squirm a little bit.
And guess how much I had to use both of those? I never did.
Yeah, 0. I'm still wearing a mask because I work with kids, and I wear, like, one of the daycares I work at, there's no, like, that they lifted the mask mandate. The other one I work at, they didn't. And so it's very much just like personal choice at the first one of if people are using it or not. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm ever going to not wear a mask working with kids ever again, because they're sick little petri dishes full of disease.
Yeah.
And like they get me sick all the time normally, and so I'm like,
we worked on a project one time like for a children's museum, and like one of the higher up people at the children's museum was like, we were talking about some kind of material from a durability and use standpoint, and she said, honestly, whichever one is the most durable and the most cleanable, because in all the years I've worked with children, I've learned one thing: kids are wet. They're just always wet.
They are. Like, it's so sick watching, like, now they don't wear masks anymore at one of the daycares, but like watching them just like their masks just would like start disappearing into their mouth. And there would just be like a wet spot growing, and it like extends down to their like. There's the kids that are really slobbery, where the wet spot becomes a ring around their shirt, and you're like, "How is it getting down there?"
Doing that? Yeah,
like that's so.
I remember in middle school, a friend of mine described another kid as, he always has spaghetti sauce on his face, whether or not he has recently eaten spaghetti.
That's what these kids are. They're just slobbery. It's like it doesn't matter if they're actually like sick or spitting. They have slobber everywhere. It's disgusting. On that note, should we go to the pit?
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about how nasty kids are, this movie's great. It's. I think that
there's no shortage of good things I could say about this movie.
I think A New Hope is a good reference point because it does feel revolutionary in a way of like, and also maybe, I don't know, A New Hope has a very straightforward hero's journey. Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of doesn't, and it feels like it might be harder to like copy or like map the success of this movie.
Well,
you know what I mean?
If you were to write like just sort of a narrative outline of Evelyn's character journey, it is fairly linear, but that requires a lot of backbending to really defend, because you're right. Like toward the end, we're seeing two realities that are near one another because we see the decision or that thing that forked the realities. You know, like they both take place in the laundromat. Yeah. Like by that point in the movie, my brain was so just locked in emotionally that I never once was I like, wait, okay, so how does this reality work? You know, like it's totally. Just like, fucking put the seatbelt on and just go for the ride, guys.
Yes. Yeah. There was never a question in my mind of like, well, no, how's this happening? Or like, which one are we in? Like, I wasn't worried about it. And I think it's because it hits you with so many that you can't start worrying about it. Right. So you're just like, oh, okay, so I'm just going to like sit back and let it all ride, like wash over me.
Right.
Anyway, sorry, but let's go to the pit.
I want to watch it again right now. Yeah, let's go to the Sarlacc.
It's great. Wee. And
we're Jobu to pack.
Yeah, love it.
We're back. We're back. That reach was there. I have a little game for us this week.
Wonderful.
It is another installment of. So okay, of all of the games that we do kind of regularly, which one do you think would make the most sense for like a chain of different universes that all kind of have a reaction together?
I would say chain reaction.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
And it's also we did the most recent one of these we did was on our Lost Circles episode.
Oh, you're right.
So it's actually been a while since we've done chain reaction. In this game, for listeners, if you're new here, if you haven't heard this game before, I'm gonna give Josiah a starting word and an ending word with a bunch of words in between, and he has to create a chain of 2-word phrases. So,
eggpan, for instance.
Well, you know what's funny? I was going to describe what eggpan is because I have one in here that I would say is like an 80% eggpan.
Oh, no.
But, what's a good example? I don't have. I'll pull up the Circles episode really quick.
Like, if we were trying to get from one word to another word.
Yeah, if he was
like,
trying to get from parent to trap, it might be parent company, company man, man cave, cave bear, bear trap.
Oh yeah, Cave Bear. That one was
that was one that you
controversial.
considered an egg pan. Egg pan is an example of one that we did in the past where the phrase that I insisted was a real phrase was egg pan, which is like one of those little pans that all you can really do is fry a single egg in. And Josiah and our guest, Allie, my sister, both gave me all sorts of hell for that. So that is now the phrase that means Mike didn't do a good job writing this portion of the game.
A real egg pan.
I'll say this. It's very easy to just like come up with a bunch of two-word phrases and have a starting word and an ending word that don't mean anything, but I try to make those start and end words mean something relevant to the topic. So this week, your first one is a 5-word chain. It's got, one at the beginning, one at the end, and 3 in the middle. You're connecting, this is probably my favorite line in the whole movie, you're connecting the word laundry with the word taxes. In the martial arts version where she's not married to her husband, and he says something like, if I had a chance to do this life all over again, I would love to spend it doing laundry and taxes with you.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because, of course, that's the reality that we find our heroes in. Okay,
so there's 5 words in between?
3 words in between. 5
3
total.
words in between.
Yeah.
5 total.
So, would you like the first letter of a word under laundry or the first letter of the word above taxes?
Give me below laundry.
Okay, that starts with a B. Listeners
Laundry
playing along at
boy.
home, you should get your answers in now. Laundry boy
Yeah,
is incorrect.
Is it laundry bag?
It is not.
Okay. Damn.
Where would you like your next letter?
After that one.
After B. So it's laundry B, and then the next letter is A.
Laundry basket?
It is laundry basket.
All right.
So would you like the first letter of the word after basket or the word before taxes?
Give me the one after basket.
That begins with the letter C.
Is it case?
It is case, baby.
Yeah.
Laundry basket, case. You now have one word, and it's between case and taxes. And I would say this is also verging on egg pan territory, but I'll stand by it.
Okay.
The first letter is F.
F. Okay. For taxes. Final. No. Give me another letter.
I.
Final taxes?
No.
That's not a thing.
You'll probably have more luck going kind of after case, because the
Case.
egg pan is the taxes one.
Case file.
Yes, that is correct. So we have a chain: laundry basket, basket case, case file, and file taxes.
Sure.
Did you file taxes this year?
To file taxes.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's funny. I'm realizing that the last one. We'll do that one. No. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. So the second one, we have 2 more. The next one is a 6-word one, so it's 2 with 4 in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You're connecting the word hot with the word dog.
Yeah.
And I will also give you a clue. I had this thought at one point, and I decided not to do it, but I was going to have the word before dog be hot.
Hot dog.
So would you like a letter under hot or a letter above dog?
Give me a letter above dog.
It is the letter C.
Sea dog.
No.
Ah, man. Give me another letter.
The next letter after that letter is H.
Chow dog.
Is it chow dog? No.
Damn. Another letter, please.
I.
Chili dog.
It is chili dog.
There we go.
Chili dog. Would you like a word or a letter above chili or a letter under hot?
Letter above chili.
Okay, here's your daily double. And by that I mean this is the egg pan.
Yay.
It starts with H.
So it's not Star Wars chili.
No, I was going to try to do that, but I was like, that's 2 words, and I can't think of what comes before Star Wars.
Yeah. Is it hot chili?
No, that would make sense, I suppose, but it is not hot chili.
Can I get another letter?
Oh.
Oh, are you sure it's not hot chili? Holy chili.
Nope.
Another letter?
U.
House chili?
Yeah.
No, sir.
It is.
No.
So here's my thought there.
Could I get the house chili? Listen to that. How's that sound?
We have a Caesar salad, we have a green salad, and we have 3 different soups. We have a chicken noodle and a cream of mushroom and our house chili.
Oh my God. No, it's an egg pan for sure.
Yeah, okay, so I will cop to the egg pan there, but the word is house.
All right. Can I get one under hot?
Yes, the letter that begins the word under hot is P.
Hot? Why is the first thing I wanted to say penis? Doesn't even make any sense. Hot plate.
No, it is not hot plate.
Another letter.
O.
Hot pot.
No.
Another letter.
T.
Come on. Hot potato.
Yeah, hot potato. And let's see, you got house chili. So between potato and house, there is only one word remaining, and it starts with P.
Potato party. Party house.
Now, can you tell us all what a potato party is? Because there is a party house. That is something. So
a potato party is whenever you do a bunch of your reading for your accelerated reader in elementary school, and you get enough points that they go to, instead of going to Domino's, you go to a potato farm, and everybody gets a potato party. It's like a pizza party, but with potatoes.
Sure. Well, I'm gonna give it to you. And we'll, if you want, you can also go double or nothing to get the word that I have written down. But the chain is hot potato, potato party, party house, house chili, chili dog, and in that chain, I would say house chili is a bigger egg pan offense than potato party.
I will go double or nothing though.
Yeah. Okay, so it's potato. P A is the next letter.
So you're sure it's not party? Potato. I can only see party. Give me another letter. Give me another
N.
letter. Pan. Potato pantry house. No. Another letter.
C.
Oh no. Potato pancakes, pancake house.
Yes. So it is a hot potato pancake, or potato party, pancake house, or party house, house chili, and chili dog.
House chili is growing on me.
I'm going to make it happen.
Now that I've had some time to think about it, it's growing on me. You know what we ought to
do the next episode we record? We're doing one tomorrow. In fact, I think we should say we boil everything Star Wars down into a chili, and here on How Star Wars Is It, that's our house chili.
That's our house chili. That's what we call our house chili.
House chili is short for House Star Wars Is It chili.
Is this chili. Yep, exactly.
Okay, and your
spelled
last one...
HOWS.
Yeah. Your last one here is the longest one. It's a 7-word chain, 5 in the middle. And this is one where I did just kind of I started with a word, but then I just ended where I decided to end. But because this is the last one of the game, it makes sense to end in the word it ends with. You are connecting the word everything with the word over.
Everything over.
It's over. It's over!
It's over.
And then you have 5 words in between. Where would you like your first letter?
After everything.
The next word starts with B.
Is it bagel?
It is bagel.
Yeah, in a bagel. I put everything on a bagel.
Where would you like your next letter?
After bagel.
S.
Bagels. sauce. That's what I call cream cheese. I call it bagel sauce.
Well, then you are weird, and that is wrong.
Damn. Can I have another letter?
Yes. H.
Bagel schmear.
No, that's a good guess. But no, that is wrong.
Another letter?
O.
Bagel shoe.
And what is that?
That's whenever you have one toe and you put a bagel on it and they put the hole through, and that's all it goes around your toe.
Okay, that is correct for the definition of bagel shoe, but that is not for this game.
Damn. Okay. Another letter, please.
P.
Is it going to be bagel shop?
Yeah. It is bagel shop. However, did you guess that?
I'm going to spell it with another P and an E.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I didn't quite give it all the way.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, would you like a letter after shop or a letter above over?
Above over.
C.
Cry because it's over.
Yes.
Wow.
No.
Another letter.
O.
Come over.
No.
Okay. Another letter.
M.
Why do you always do this to me?
It is funny how you had pot and pan in the last one. Potato pancake.
Yeah, I did. Coming over?
No.
Another letter.
B.
Is it comb over?
Yeah.
I'm really doing.
You're smashing it.
I'm doing really good on this round.
So let's see. You have everything bagel shop, and then you also have comb over. There's two words in the middle. Would you like it under shop or above comb?
Above comb, please.
All right. The word above comb starts with H.
Hair comb.
No, that's a good guess because that is a
Damn.
thing.
Another letter.
O.
Hot comb.
No.
Another letter. Hot pot.
No, the next letter is N.
Honeycomb.
Yes, honeycomb. And now you have one word between...
Shop local honey.
Yes, that's right. So the chain is everything bagel shop local honey, honeycomb, comb over, because it's over.
It's over. Yay. I love that game. Well, let's see. Let's figure out what we're going to rate this bad boy.
Yeah. What other things do I feel like I'm leaving out?
There's sneaking around.
Yes, there is sneaking around.
There's really good music. There's that one like classical song. It's like dun 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 dun.
Okay.
That I don't know what it's called. There's really good fights, good fight choreo.
The visuals are really imaginative and stunning to look at.
Sometimes Star Wars fights are good, sometimes they're bad. So that's not 100%. Yeah, stunning visuals for sure.
It is very funny in a comedy way, as opposed to in a sort of action hero going, we're gonna have company.
Totally.
So that's
different.
Points against it. It's funny. The sort of bad guy, from the point of view of like the sort of, if you follow this movie as just like a linear story, the antagonist is her daughter, but again, it's not her daughter. It's this like entity.
Yeah.
So it does have a sort of like a Darth Vader-y boogeyman, but really, actually, it's like, again, like this common thing recently of like generational trauma and apologizing to your child. The mother-daughter relationship does have kind of a Star Wars, family reveal kind of thing. It's revealed to her that like the greatest villain in all of space and time is her own daughter, and it takes her saying like, no, I love you anyway, there's good in you, there's good in the world, to that's a super Star Wars-y thing.
That is super Star Wars for the quote-unquote villain to have a last-minute kind of turn and to be redeemed.
Yeah.
I'd say this does it more skillfully than Star Wars has ever done it.
Yeah.
because it's not just a last minute thing. It's like that's the whole purpose of her of Evelyn's quest is like I've got to figure out how to like save my daughter.
Right. Yeah, so when Star Wars like has something to say, which isn't every time, every outing, it is usually a fairly broad thing, like you should choose good over evil. And this has like a really specific kind of family relationship thing to say, and it uses this crazy, conceit to do it. Let's see, what other things do we like? Good and evil. Like, good and evil isn't terribly clear. It is funny that like a constant throughout all of space and time is like this like sort of lousy schlumpy lady from the IRS is always there to bother them. Like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that rules.
But even her sometimes like she's like good.
Yes, depending on the universe.
Let's see. There's googly eyes.
There's also a whole part of the story between Evelyn and Waymond that's like beautiful as well, where she sort of like changes her opinion of him changes because she realizes that like because he talks about the way he fights is different than the way she fights. And she's seen him literally fight now as like Alpha Waymond with his like cool martial arts. But then when she's seeing that the way that he fights is through like kindness and being and choosing every day to be kind, basically, which is a different way than she fights. And like that was a really beautiful thing to be like, oh, they're meeting each other halfway kind of, which we didn't really discuss that. I just wanted to pop that in there before we finish.
At the very beginning of the movie, he wants a divorce, and it's
like
you mentioned, he is kind of like this beta character. So to even like go that far, he's clearly like, he doesn't feel seen or appreciated or like
he understands that what they have is not working, and by the end of the movie it is working. They're figuring it out, which is really cool, and it feels like natural.
It really was a special movie.
It really is. We should give it a rating.
Yeah, so a thing we've been doing lately on this show is defaulting to like a 2 or 3. And I think for me, I think my unit of measure is gonna be like butt plug trophies. Gosh, when they're like fighting over it, like they're trying to keep them from like landing on it. So the way you jump between realities is doing something so statistically unlikely that like your consciousness is able to like
untether itself.
It's sort of like taking the red pill in the Matrix. It's like a signal to the people to come find you or whatever. It like untethers itself that way. And in that one fight scene, they don't even have to tell you what they're about to do. We've already learned this mechanic, and you just see these people all fighting to try to shove this thing in their butt because it would be very unlikely for that version of them to do that. But the fight is similar to Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader is not trying to hurt Luke or kill him. He's just toying with him to try to like take him to the Emperor. So like they're not trying to kill each other. They're just trying to keep them from shoving the trophy in their butt. It's so funny. And the stakes are real. Like you see what's happening. They don't have to like spell it out. But anyway, I'm going to do butt plug trophies.
That's good. I'm going to do googly eyes.
Yeah.
Or Google eyes, as I think she called them.
Right. Google eyes.
And I think I'm going to
go ahead.
I'm going to give it a 4.
That's exactly where my brain was. I think
that feels right.
Well, and let's see. We just gave Columbo a 4 and change.
Yes.
So I might do some change here to bring it up. I might say this is a... gosh, it seems like a little nuts to say it's a 5, but I'm going to say it's a 4.5.
I love that. I think that's great. Well, there you have it, folks. It's a 4 and change.
Yeah. And again, that's just on how Star Wars it is.
Yeah, on how good it is.
If you were to have a shelf of DVD Blu-rays of all the Star Wars movies and you slid this one in there and someone came over, they'd go, wait a second, that's not one of the Star Wars movies. And then you could be like, it kind of is. And they'd be like, it's like, not, but I see your point.
Yeah,
You
and then
should
you
start
can watch
a
it.
podcast.
You could watch it, and they'd be like, I would say like it was probably like a 4 out of 10 of how Star Wars it was.
Yeah, right.
But I'd say it was like at least a 9 or maybe even a 10 out of 10 of how good it was.
Yeah. I mean,
and
it
everybody
just
should
crushed
go see it. Totally crushed it. Everyone should go see it. But let's wrap up. Do you want us on the internet? Because if you do, you can find us at How Star Wars Is It on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us at agoodpodcast@gmail.com. We are going to be... Will this come out before then? No.
I don't know. It depends on the order we cut everything, but...
It won't, because next Monday is Lego Star Wars... which is the last one before we're going to be there.
So if you are hearing this and this is your first foray into the show after having met us at the May the 4th extravaganza at Empirical Brewery, hi, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Or for that matter, if you happen to come see any combination of the different improv shows happening at Piper's Alley on the 30th of April, hi, welcome. But if you want any more of this shit in your ear holes every week, specifically the stuff where Josiah and I talk about how there shouldn't be billionaires,
yep.
You should tune in to our bonus episode every week on Patreon, which is patreon.com/howstarwarsisit. We do a weekly bonus app. It's $5 a month. We also have a special thing every month. The first 11 months, that special thing was a film commentary of the different Star Wars movies, so you can watch along and hear us essentially just like talk the whole time, or you can just listen to it.
Yeah.
And this month is a special new thing. Josiah and I played an RPG, putting to the test our two conceits, our two premises. One, that we think we should write a movie, and two, that a movie is just two other movies mashed together.
Yes. So we mashed together The Matrix and Ocean's 11
basically,
Italian Job.
It's a heist that takes place inside a simulation.
And you should check it out. It's a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to do something else similar to it for next month. So
hell yeah.
Go check it out and keep it going. But that's about everything. So thank you for joining us at those various live appearances. If you did, we appreciate it. And thank you for listening, as always. So like we always say... Oh, wait.
I was going to say, man, there's so many things you haven't said.
I know. I'm missing out.
Sandwiches to Star Wars.
Sandwiches to Star Wars. I can't remember all the stupid stuff we say. It's so important to me to get all this out in the right order. Sandwiches to Star Wars. It's about time for Tubby Bye Bye. Right. So, like we always say. So stupid. This show is a comedy if you think we're funny.
If you think we're funny.
But anyway, Sandwiches of Star Wars, it's about time to tell you bye-bye. So like we always say,
we love you.
Love you.
And may the 4th
be with you. Bye-bye.
Oh boy.
Wow. I couldn't get it out at the end. I got so confused.